When a man learns to feel love, he must also bear the risk of feeling hate.
The shinobi system, the village, shinobi themselves. They created these circumstances.
Hello everyone, my name is Obito, or you might know me as my former name, Toby.
I don't feel pain any longer. Look at me! There's nothing in my heart! So I abandoned it all. Meanwhile, you have suffered all this time at Reen's grave, and mine as well.
And I'm a rogue shinobi from the Uchiha clan.
There is no hope. To hope is equivalent to giving up. And it's the biggest deception of all.
In the ninja world, those who break the rules and laws are regarded as scum. But those who would abandon even one of their friends are worse than scum. So I'm gonna choose to break the rules. If doing that somehow makes me less of a true shinobi, then I'll just go and crush all of the so-called real shinobi.
She decided to die at the hands of someone she loved to protect the hidden leaf.
Now, a lot of you may know me from a show called Naruto, as I'm one of the people who helped orchestrate the 4th grade nigga war. And this is my story on how I went from being a total gag character to the one who changed the ninja world forever. I was once shrouded in complete mystery as no one knew who I was. But now, I'm known far and wide throughout the community, as some may claim I'm a savior, while others say I'm a straight demon. And I was able to single-handedly finesse the entire ninja world and obtain the renowned title of the Shiestiest ninja alive. And today, I'm here to tell my story. Now, I think I can speak for everyone when I say I bamboozled everybody. I was actually mentioned back in part 1 when my boy Kakashi visited my grave to pour out some of that Henny on top of my headstone. And the whole time, the world was thinking I was nothing but an urban legend just like Madara. But in reality, I was there the entire time. At the time, I went by the name Toby to keep my identity a secret. And I ain't gonna lie, it was fun being one of the funniest and most annoying niggas in the Akatsuki. Hell, the only other person I could think of more annoying than me was White Zetsu, but that's my nigga though. Or plant thing, cauliflower, whatever, you get the point. And every time I popped up on screen, just know I was being a complete troll and showing up to the Akatsuki meetings zooted as hell off the Zaza. But just know when it came down to standing on business, I made sure to keep everybody in a chokehold. Okay, so where did it all start for you? And what was your childhood like? Where did it all start? Okay, let's rewind the clock real quick. So back when I was a kid, I was really an angel. I mean, what you might call a model citizen. You know, helping old ladies cross the street type shit. I was innocent, naive, and in love. Kind of like how Naruto was when he was younger before he got married. But then everything changed when I went on what I thought would be a cake-ass mission. So to make a long story short, it was me and Kakashi against this fake-ass Afro samurai dude, and I ain't gonna lie, he was cooking this nigga. I had just unlocked my Sharingan, and me and Kakashi were like Shaq and Kobe. Boom, he hit a right, I hit a left, and everything was looking up. But all of a sudden, after we beat Buddy, he set a trap and caused the cave to collapse. So boom, we said hell nah, and we started to bang it to try and escape, but the rocks, them Jones were on our ass. Kakashi got hit and went down, but I said no niggas left behind, so I pushed him out the way only for my ass to be the one who ended up getting one-shotted by a random ass boulder, and I lost everything. My best friend, who was also my biggest hater at the time, the girl who I was in love with, but looking back I simped over, and even the entire left side of my body. Now usually any normal person would have simply gotten left behind, but take it from me when I say I was alright. But best believe I didn't fold underneath the pressure, nah. And by some miracle, I was saved by none other than my Lord and Savior, Madara Uchiha. Looking back though, I should have left Kakashi's bitch ass in that cave and went on to be Hokage. But it's all love though. Kakashi, even though you still my nigga, you a bitch for what you did to Ren. But we'll get into that in a minute. So boom, fast forward a little bit and my life was saved by Madara after him and Zetsu basically gave me a BBL and nursed me back to health. I was a little fucked up, but hey, I was alive. And since I was given a second chance, I made it my mission to turn into Captain Save-A-Ho and head back up to the surface and go back to the hood to sweep Ren off her feet. But instead, something happened that completely transformed me from the angel everyone knew into a bona fide demon. So here's how it all went down. So boom, the ops have Kakashi and Ren completely surrounded and they planned on snatching out the tail beast Ren carried within her body to take it back to the hidden mist, which in turn left Kakashi no choice but to send her straight to the gulag before the ops got to her first. But little did everyone know, I was low-key lurking in the shadows watching all this go down right before my eyes. Nobody knew I was even alive, so I planned on popping out in a grand way. But when I saw Kakashi turn my sweetheart into a Pop-Tart, I automatically went Donkey Kong and started smoking everybody like they rolled up in a banana flavored Swisher Sweet and sent them all to hell to meet their maker. Yeah, y'all niggas see that shit?
Oh shit, that's your mama, nigga.
Hey, come say that to my
Who this nigga think he is, looking like Cyclops and shit?
Nigga, how you missed every shot? Shit, now you pissed him off. That nigga running like Terminator. He coming straight for you, my nigga.
Stand back, watch me pack this nigga.
One by one, I started castrating niggas after turning into Usain Bolt, and even had this one dude in the background thinking to himself like, damn, I knew I should have called out today. While I knocked these other two heads back like they just got rocked by the homie Saitama. And no lie, I did this nigga right here the first time. Everybody. I low-key feel sorry for my mans, but nigga, I felt like I was trying out for the Lakers and made this man hit the floor so hard his body bounced off the ground like it was a basketball. I know my boy had to feel that all down his back. You asking, was it a fair fight? I think so, honestly. Now, did they stand a chance? Hell nah. But they did try to jump me, so they don't get a pass. And where the hell was Minato sensei during all this? Shit if I know. I didn't see that nigga again until the war, but we'll get into that later. And trust me, once I pop the perk 30, there ain't no stopping. I'm liable to spin the block and annihilate the entire opposition on God. And to prove it to you, I'll show you exactly what I did when I pulled up to the leaf. So after I sent those niggas to go meet Sukuna, I pulled up to the hidden drip village where I first met Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan. And at the time I was going by the name Madara since his name carried a lot of motion in the streets. And you know, at first niggas weren't fucking with me, so I had to do what I can and try and persuade them to come and join the dark side. Well, what did you do? I murdered everyone in Nagato's gang so they won't try and stop what was about to happen to make Nagato experience true pain. I mean, I didn't want to do it, but Yahiko was standing in the way, and the only way for Nagato to join me was for him to be out of the picture. Mind you, I wasn't the one who killed him per se. You could thank Danzo and Hanzo for that. but I am the one who allowed what was already set in motion to play out to the end. And you already know I had to keep Conan alive. It was only right, my guy. But yeah, after what happened with Yahiko, Nagato finally decided to join me after truly unlocking his powers, and from there, that's how the Akatsuki was born. And we'll make sure to leave a link in our video explaining who the Akatsuki is in the description below. Appreciate it. So moving on. Now it's around October 10th, which is autumn in the Leaf Village, and at the time, Minato's baby moms had just given birth to little big-headed ass Naruto in some random ass corridor underneath the leaf. Now I've been watching these niggas for the past few months now and keeping my eye on when this little knucklehead ass Jit would be born, because I knew the minute he came out of her belly, her seal holding the Nine Tails would be weakened, which presented me with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to destroy these niggas. So I pulled up and snatched the little guy out of the nurse's arms and threatened the fourth that if he didn't move away from the jinchuriki, lil man was toast. He wasn't trying to budge at first, so I gave him a little bit of motivation to see if he was just as fast as he used to be. And no lie, he was fast, but he didn't know they called me Boom Shiesty because I snuck a bunch of paper bombs on Naruto's back and forth him to teleport to a different location just so I can separate him from Kushina. Part 1 of my plan complete. Now for part 2. So I take Kushina to the perfect spot and successfully unleash the Nine Tails and get ready to take him to the leaf while having him under my control, and Kushina manages to stay alive because she has that Uzumaki reboot card automatically built into her AI. So I say, since the Nine Tails was your jinchuriki, I'll have him be the one to kill you. Quite fitting if you ask me. And right before the deed is done, of course here comes Minato sensei to save the day as usual. But my nigga, where were you when Kakashi and Rin needed you? If you were there to protect them, Rin wouldn't have died and I wouldn't have turned into a savage. Man, but whatever. So anyway, while he takes her back to go be with Naruto, me and Tails set out to go destroy the leaf, and when I say he went crazy, that nigga was fucking shit up like his nickname's King Kong. I'm telling you nigga, they sent out the army, the navy, the air force, everybody, but none of that shit had no effect. The third Hokage low-key put up somewhat of a fight, but not even he stood a chance against Nick Wild when he's off the juice like he's from Zootopia. Needless to say, he even had DMX screaming who let the dogs out. And while all that's happening, here comes Minato sensei showing up in the most flashy way possible on top of the Hokage statue looking like a true Hokage. The Nine Tails happen to catch wind of this and launches a Biju bomb straight at him, which he casually deflects and teleports behind the village, and I must say, not even on some hating shit, that was clean. But he didn't notice I was right behind him and came in like a thief in the night to send him to another dimension, but right before I could, he teleported away, to which I followed. So now it's just the both of us facing off one-on-one with no one or nothing distracting us, and I wanted to test this nigga's gangster. I took out the chains like my last name's Django, and we kicked off round 1. He started off trying to shank me with a kunai, but there's no reason for me to dodge, so I trap him with the chains only for him to teleport again. So I'm like, okay, I see how you want to play it. It's like a big game of tag. So we go back in for round 2, and this time, he throws the kunai hoping that'll change something, and right before I was about to touch him, he activated a Rasengan while at the same time teleporting to the kunai he just threw and pulled off one of the most cleanest moves I damn near ever seen, and delivered the back shot so hard, it damn near caused me to lose my arm. And what I didn't know is that he marked me after delivering that attack and was able to close the gap between him and me just enough for him to shank me at point blank range. And then to make matters even worse, the nigga performed a contract seal and severed my ties with the Nine Tails, but I was like, alright, you want him so bad? You can have him, but best believe I'll be back. And when I do, count your days, my nigga. Coincidentally, Minato and his baby moms both ended up losing their lives to the Nine Tails after sacrificing themselves to protect Naruto. Bold move if you ask me. And shortly after that, I returned to the village to convince Itachi to wipe out his entire clan and join the gang I was forming at the time. He agreed, but only on the condition that he could spare his little brother. I was like, sure, whatever floats your boat, since the little nigga might come in handy one day. And me and him go door to door, stepping on everybody one by one until there were no survivors. So at the time, me, him, and Sasuke were the only 3 remaining Uchihas alive. Wow, not that many people know that. Yeah, Sasuke basically didn't know it his whole life up until we met. I kinda feel sorry for him considering he hated his brother when his brother was only trying to protect him. Hell, even his parents understood what was going on and what had to be done to quell all the civil unrest happening in the Leaf. Me, I feel like those niggas were gonna die anyway, so I just kinda sped up the process. But I'ma fast forward a few years now. Mind you, there's a few things I'm not really gonna touch bases on, like Gaara having the one tails taken out of him, me and Deidara catching the three tails, Sasuke going to blows with both Deidara and Itachi. But I thought it was at least worth mentioning, and I'm sure the editor can throw in a few clips of that happening or whatever. So I pull up to the Kage summon and waged war on the entire ninja world and sent this dumbass nigga Sasuke on a crash out mission to try and assassinate Danzo, who just so happened to be attending the summit at the time. And if you want my honest opinion, I think the Leaf was dumb as fuck to try and send Danzo as a placeholder for the Hokage while Tsunade was out of commission. But hey, that's just my honest opinion. Now, don't let that distract you from the absolute ass whooping I gave these two goofy ass niggas when they thought they could jump me. For a second, they really thought they actually stood a chance against me. But what they didn't know is that in the streets they call me Danny Phantom the way I phase through shit. Sometimes I even feel like I'm speedrunning Majora's Mask on the N64. And bruh, you can't tell me Danny Phantom didn't have one of the hardest theme songs back in the day. But the only downside is that once I use my ability, I phase through everything no matter what, meaning that I can't attack even if I wanted to. So Tweedledee and Tweedledum go in to rush me, but I said, go in ghost, and phase through the ground in an instant. So now I left both of the dumbasses confused as to where I went, and I popped out of the ground like I'm celebrating Groundhog's Day just for this man to swing at me with a reverse slice, but he realized he's really fighting Casper. Then Ant-Man tried to snipe me with a kunai, but I ate that shit and mollywopped his mans right in front of him. See, these niggas are putting a bad name on jumping. I'm catching both of them off guard and they really can't do a damn thing about it. So they try a different approach and Ant-Man takes off the gloves to cover his body in Ebola while his homeboy acts as a distraction. Dumbass niggas, don't they know I have the Sharingan so I can damn near see into the future? So here they come thinking I can't see through the bullshit, and Mr. Ponytail here tries to come up and blitz me, but I really didn't even have to dodge because, you know. And I baited these niggas into attacking each other, which caused homie to develop eczema. Dumbasses. Now luckily the Orchid Man was able to take it away and even covered his entire body to make it look like he came down with a nasty case of the plague. But that didn't stop me from coming up behind him like Freddy Krueger and sending that nigga to the gulag. He got in a clean hit though and infected my arm, so I had to take it off and tossed it at my mans and came up like peekaboo before I sucked him up to go meet his homie in hell. And you ain't gotta pause on that, my guy, because you know exactly what I meant. So I packed up both of those bozos while at the same time, Sasuke just finished off Danzo and that officially kicked off the 4th Great Nigga War. Sounds cool, right? I know, and that was only the beginning. So boom, we fast forward again and I decided to double back to the Hidden Drip Village to go grave robbing. And I met with the fine ass Konan who was there to stop me from making Nagato turn in his grave. Now we all know how this fight was gonna go from the beginning, but no lie, Konan was holding that shit down. She was actually able to get the one up on me all throughout the fight because she knows the in and out of my ability. Plus, she had mad prep time to create this big ass hole and fill that shit with 600 billion paper bombs to try and send me to the gulag. Talk about putting a nigga 6 feet under. At that point, it looked like it was checkmate and there was no way I could survive. But what she didn't know is I carried a cheat code in my back pocket. A little jutsu called Izanagi, which is probably one of, if not the most hacked abilities in the world. As soon as I finessed her on that, I was able to make a hell of a comeback and secure the dub. She almost had me there, but your boy ain't going down that easily. So after giving Konan the opportunity to meet her lover in hell, I teamed up with the slimiest nigga I know, Kabuto, and we assembled the Avengers along with 100,000 minions to create the ultimate undead army. I know you peeped the new drip I got going too, and I ain't just talking about the mask either. And not only that, I even got 6 out of the 9-tailed beast on my side, and you know I had to get them right with the drip as well. So me and the gang on our way to the scene, and guess who we just so happened to run into? That's right, I ran straight into Naruto, literally. The nigga headbutted me and low-key caught me off guard, which is why I didn't just phase right through him. but I wasn't concerned to say the least. Him and the Eight Tails had enough on their hands dealing with the other jinchuriki, and that drip I gave them wasn't just for show either. They're like the new 6 Paths of Pain, but 10 times deadlier. And at first it seemed like there was nothing the Eight Tails and Naruto could do since I had these niggas moving like the Golden State Warriors in Game 7. But then suddenly the Eight Tails transformed and cleared out the entire forest we were fighting in. No lie, he had that shit looking like Oppenheimer just dropped a bomb on us. And then he used some type of ink clone technique to try and restrain and seal all the other jinchuriki, but you already know I couldn't let it happen that easily. I had them all power up and hop into a jumping formation before one of them hit Naruto with the Great Barrier Reef and have the other headbutt the Eight Tails and send him flying. And thanks to that battery on his back, Naruto couldn't move, which gave me the perfect opportunity to go in for the kill. But before I could, here comes bitch ass niggas Guy and Kakashi to the rescue to bail him out. How did you feel about seeing Kakashi after all these years? I mean, to be honest, I felt a little tight in my stomach. Part of me wanted to choke this nigga for what he did to Rin, but the other part of me wanted to take the mask off right there and let him know I'm still alive and that I missed him. But I ain't no bitch, so I had to carry on with the mission. So while Guy cracks Naruto's back and they try to form a plan to beat me, one of my pets try and turn against me, but I quickly put that to rest and made sure to keep the others on a very short leash. Now mind you, I wasn't worried about the rest of them turning since my control over them was pretty solid, but the one I was worried about was Kakashi. That nigga has a great set of eyes and an amazing intellect to back it up, so you know I had to get rid of him immediately. I had the 4 Tails and 6 Tails fully transformed just so they can get rid of them as quickly as possible, and even had the 4 Tails chow down on Naruto like he's a midday snack. But that quickly backfired when Naruto was able to escape and even free the 4 Tails from my control. How was he able to know exactly where to find the location of the chakra receiver I implanted inside of him? And how was he able to take out the rod when it was binding him at the same time? Those are questions I still haven't been able to answer. But all I did know is that the gloves had to come off for real this time. So I locked the 4 Tails back into the Chamber of Secrets and had the remaining Tail Beasts transform and kick things off with the 5-piece BG Bomb Buffet. And right before they were about to blow everyone away, this man Naruto blew all the bombs back and managed to fully unlock the powers of the 9 Tails. That nigga was low-key looking like Minato Sensei for a second. Then I tried to get all of the Tail Beasts to combine their Tail Beast bombs into one, but this nigga was able to evenly match it with a BG Dama of his own and sent that shit into the stratosphere. And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, he takes out the chakra rods I implanted in all the jinchuriki and successfully freed them from my shackles. So in turn, that left me no choice but to send the rest of them back into the Chamber of Secrets and try to capture the Hachigi Fusion itself. And no lie, these niggas had me going for a second there. At first, I was like, is that sweat? But then I realized it was only rain and I was like, these peons can never make me break a sweat. I am the savior of this dreaded world. No way in hell I would get nervous fighting a bunch of third-rate ninja. So while the battle rages on, something unexpected happens that not even my eyes could have seen through. The reanimation technique starts to become undone and the jinchuriki's bodies all start to fall apart right in front of my eyes. At that point, I'm trying to keep my composure, but on the inside, I was freaking the fuck out. These niggas were cooking my ass and had me low-key on the back foot, so I had no choice but to resort to Plan Z. It wasn't what I intended, but it'll work all the same. So I fed the ghetto statue a piece of the 8 Tails and 9 Tails chakra and began resurrecting the 10 Tails, and also revealed my end goal, which was completing the infant Tsukiyomi ritual. With that, the world would no longer experience pain, nor hope, nor heroes, nor villains. It'll be like everyone is living in a utopia, no Travis Scott, where they're free to dream whatever they want without ever waking up. But of course, they weren't having it. Naruto tries to rush in and stop the transformation, but Tumbo blocked it and went in to fight all 4 of these niggas at the same time. First, starting off with Naruto, I immediately knocked out one of his clones and went in for the capture, but Guy came out of nowhere with the nunchucks like his name's Bruce Lee and forced me to continue to use my technique. So then I switched my focus over to him and we start shooting the ones, and I ain't gonna lie, he was clean with it, I'll give him that. Meanwhile, Kakashi was off in the cut trying to tear off the ghetto statue's head, but I had to quickly put that to rest and shifted my focus back over to Naruto again. that time, I damn near had him, but Kakashi came in with the assist by piercing through the rocks with his Rakiri and throwing a kunai straight through my dome, causing me to keep up my technique again. But all of a sudden, fam, a scratch showed up on my mask out of nowhere, which gave the Eight Tails the opportunity to go after the statue, but I'm like, baka, who the hell do you think I am? I used the reverse curse technique to protect the statue and then proceeded to go in for round 2 with these fools again. Guy was getting on my nerves with those nunchucks, so I decided to absorb those, but then Naruto came out of nowhere with the Rasengan, which just disappeared, and before I knew it, I got my back blown out for the second time in this video and went flying down to the other side of the battlefield. At first, I wasn't so sure, but I knew for a fact they had figured out how my technique works, and it was no thanks to Kakashi. It also started to look like he was close to figuring out who I was, but I told him not to think about it too much since he damn near left me for dead and shouldn't have any regrets for what he did. And it seemed like what I said struck a deep nerve and had that nigga damn near about to have a panic attack. Then Naruto all of a sudden jumped back into the mix, but I had that shit on the lock and key up until the point where he launched a Biju Dama at me and a clone ambush me in the other world. At that point, my nigga, I was cooked. This man broke through my mask and revealed my true identity, which I kept hitting from everyone for over a decade now. But there was no more helping it. That's right, Big Obito is back in the building. It's like I never left because I was never gone to begin with. And not only that, the real Madara entered the chat, and that's where the real fun began. It seemed like he made light work out of the 5 Kage as expected, and once I gave him back his ninja tool, he even overpowered Naruto, who I had somewhat of a tough time dealing with. And finally, I had some form of support after being locked in the trenches for over 20 episodes. Can you talk about your 1v1 fight against Kakashi? I was just about to get to that. So with Madara helping me to fully revive the 10 Tails, I decided to shift my focus back over to Kakashi and bring him into the Shadow Realm with me to run one of the coldest days in anime. This will serve as payback for what he did to Rin all those years ago. The first thing we did was kick it off with some top tier genjutsu before running a fade with some high quality taijutsu. I'm talking about, nigga, I was swinging right while he was dodging left, there was kunai play involved, and it even got so heated that the animators had to keep switching between the past and the present. When we were kids, Kakashi used to always cook my ass when it came down to taijutsu, but this time, we were standing equally. Hell, you could even say I had the upper hand at some points. I'm talking, nigga, my heart was racing the entire time because I had been waiting my whole life for this moment. I really wanted to put this man underneath the dirt, and whatever it took, I was willing to do it. I borrowed his hands to weave a couple signs and chin checked his ass before casting a fireball straight at him, and when he blocked it, I faked him out and came from the other side and knocked his shit back and had him counting stars. And as soon as I was gonna finish him off, another Kakashi, who I thought was the real one, popped out of the ground and gave me the static shock treatment before history had basically repeated itself and it looked like he had won. But I wasn't gonna take that shit lying down, hell nah. I automatically sprung into action and went in for one final blow. The one that ended it all. I stabbed him in the shoulder, but this nigga stabbed me directly in my heart. Or at least, the ice box where my heart used to be. No lie, he won against me that time and I let him have that W. But I left his ass in the Dongai Precipice world to suffer. Okay. So Kakashi beat you at that point and you returned to the real world. At some point you became the 10 Tails jinchuriki, correct? Yeah, that's correct. I did absorb the 10 Tails to become his jinchuriki. So boom, this is how it happened. After being left at 1 HP, I decided to return to the real world on my last leg, and Madara happened to notice the pitiful state I was in, so he decided to move forward and become the jinchuriki himself and try and use me to bring him back to life. At first I didn't notice, but this nigga was really using me the whole time. This man really hit me with the okie doke and played me for a fool, and now I was paying the price. But I'm a dog at heart, so you know I wasn't going down without a fight. Everyone rushed in and tried to stop me, and even Minato Sensei was able to get in a clean blow, but somehow I managed to use the last bit of remaining life I had left to successfully absorb the 10 tails and become a literal walking clusterfuck. I mean, check me out, my nigga. You see how gangsta I looked? Call me Gear 4 cause I just went Snake Man on these hoes, and nobody can touch me. Literally. The first Hokage tried, failed. Then I said, this cage can't hold me, my nigga. Boom, broke through that with ease. Kages, man, fuck out of here. Paper bombs, I wipe my ass with those every morning. Then the old nigga really thought those bum ass shuriken were gonna work against me until I bulldozed straight through those shits and poked him one time with the mouse tool. For a hot minute, my nigga, I was on fire. But then all of a sudden, my stomach was on fire too, and I had the mean case of the bubble guts. For a second, they thought they found an opening, but luckily I was able to turn into Snake Man for real and reshape my body. And right before I was about to put Naruto and Sasuke in a coffin, they latched on to Minato Sensei and got away by just the skin on their teeth. I was this close, my guy. This close to finally ending the show. But then my bubble gut started to take over again, and this time it really felt like I was gonna shit myself, so I had no choice but to hold it in and transform into none other than the Doo-Doo Demon.
The Doo-Doo Demon?
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, what the hell are you talking about?
Look, I don't even know, but that's the only way I could describe it. And with that, I was granted the Millennium Rod like my last name was Ishtar, and left Minato Sensei and his lackeys a nice gift, a Dookie Bomb. But before it went off, the world's most racist ninja grabs it and says make the leaf great again and teleports both of us away to allow it to go off, but trust me, I'm not dumb enough to fall victim to my own attack. Then the four of them tried to go in and sneak me with a combined attack like Luffy and Law against Doflamingo. And no lie, if it were anyone else, I would have got smoked. But they must have forgotten who they were fighting. I now had the power of pure hacks, so normal attacks won't even make me flinch. Kishimoto really outdid himself when he gave me those fire-ass powers.
So, how did they manage to defeat you?
Good question. It was no thanks to Kermit the Frog who nutted on me and exposed my weakness. I know, as crazy as that may sound, that's exactly what happened. Naruto in the second peak game blitzed me with the instant transmission Rasengan imbued with Sage Chakra. And that right there, my friend, acted as the final bell ring, signaling my downfall. Out of desperation, I summoned up the chakra tree and trapped everyone inside a barrier along with me to pull off somewhat of a suicide mission by blowing everything away with 4 grade 10 Biju bombs all at the same time. And since I carried a level 99 invulnerability stat, I'd be the only one to survive. Sounds like checkmate basically, right? Well, Naruto and Minato Sensei used the power of the Nine Tails mixed with a little bit of plot armor to teleport everyone outside the barrier right before impact. And then to add insult to injury, these niggas can actually crack through my shield now that they figured out that I'm weak to Senjutsu. So I'm like, enough of these games. It's time to end this. And I summon up the 10 Tails and have it transform into the chakra tree and start absorbing all these niggas' chakra like Green Bull did when he pulled up to Wano. Now from there, you would think it's checkmate again, right? No way these niggas making a 3-1 comeback with only 30 seconds left on the clock in game 7, right? Well, wrong. Naruto and Sasuke take the lead and they combine their strongest forms, the Nine Tails cloak and the Susanoo, and rip the page straight out of Madara's book to pull off one of the hardest, if not coldest transformations in not only Naruto, but damn near anime in general. Nigga, I'm the one fighting them and I'm just sitting back thinking, damn, that shit is tough. And here I am with this weak ass DNA sword and bum ass shield going against an enemy who just unlocked a new game plus. But whatever, I knew I was cooked, but I wasn't going out like a bozo. We went in for one final clash, but then all of the memories of the life I never had started to flood in, and before I knew it was over. They sliced right through me like a knife to butter, and the chakra of all the tail beasts started spilling out from my gut like I was throwing up yesterday's lunch. What did that do, you might ask? Well, That gave these niggas the opportunity to latch on to the chakra, and I found myself playing tug of war against the entire ninja world. I mean, come on, bruh. Could you actually sit there and look me in the eyes and tell me that was fair?
Well, it low-key kind of was. I mean, you did have the 10 tails and when...
Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you talking about, nigga. I got jumped by everyone in the ninja world, so there ain't no way in hell you could sit up there and tell me that's fair. Anyway, we cut back over to me and Naruto in the spirit world chopping it up, and he has the whole hood surrounding him. Meanwhile, I have nobody backing me. I thought I at least had my nigga Madara, but I forgot he betrayed me like the dog he is, so I'm all alone. And at first, it was all cool and shit because I wanted the world to end with Rin being gone, but then Naruto really started to get into my head and I fell victim to probably his most powerful jutsu.
Talk no jutsu?
That's right, nigga. Talk no jutsu. It's like that shit cast a spell on me or something because it had me contemplating life and all my mistakes and really had me thinking, damn, maybe I did all this for nothing. And before a second thought could even pass my mind, boom! I lost it all. I lost the power of the 10 tails, I lost my best homie, and most importantly, I lost Rin. That shit hurt my G, I will admit that. But the only thing I didn't lose that night was my life.
So wait, how did you survive?
Listen, you know Kishimoto had to keep me around to serve as Naruto's plot armor. I'm about to get into that now. So after getting my back blown out for the third time in this video and having my god powers taken away right from under me, at that point I had given up. I completely lost the will to fight, so whatever happens, happens. Then Kakashi swoops back in out of nowhere after all the fighting is done to try and play Mr. Hero, but his bitch ass was camping in the other world waiting for all the smoke to clear like a bona fide biatch. But that's my brother though, so I still love him. Right then would have been the perfect opportunity to either take me out or get rid of my eye, but Minato sensei stops him right before landing the final blow. Now, if that were me, I would have done it regardless, but they say hindsight is 20/20 and not even the Sharingan would have seen what was about to happen next. Right before I was about to cast the Rin rebirth technique to bring everyone I killed back to life, Black Zetsu pops out of the cut and takes over my body only for me to use it on Madara. The Demon of the Dead regained his pulse and was given the biggest Zenkai boost next to Naruto and Sasuke themselves. And now you would think that after I use this technique, this is where my story would end, right? But nah, it's like I told you earlier, I'll come in hella clutch later. The only thing keeping me alive at this point is Black Zetsu because he still needs me around for Madara to take back his eye, who at the same time became the new jinchuriki for the 10 tails. At first it seemed like I was gonna give in and just let him take his eye back, but I had to remind him there ain't no backstabbing a real nigga. I managed to poke a hole in his stomach and was even able to see a small piece of the 1 tail and 8 tails chakra, which was just enough for Naruto to come back to life. You know, 1 + 8 = 9, and I can guarantee you that wasn't the only time I came in clutch. So to make a long story short, Madara boom gang his eye back after Sakura failed to discard it out of my inventory, but then he got his body jacked by Black Zetsu, who turned out to be the actual mastermind behind everything since the beginning and exposed Madara as one of the biggest frauds in anime. Then afterwards, Black Zetsu transformed into this alien looking demon who transported me and Kakashi's team through different dimensions. And nigga, to this day, I still don't know how I survived in that ice dimension without a shirt. I'm talking about my nipples damn near froze and fell off. Too much information? Yeah, I figured. Anyway, once we all got separated, it was basically up to me to get the gang back together. You can say I was the MVP out of everybody because if it weren't for me, Sasuke would have been stuck till this day in that desert dimension singing Arabian Nights like his nicknames are Boo Boo. But luckily, me and Sakura were able to free him and meet back up with Kakashi and Naruto to try and seal the alien demon looking bitch.
You mean Kaguya?
That's her name? My bad, I didn't even know she had a name for real. But boom, while Naruto was getting a jump on her, she transported us to another dimension and had gravity higher than the room Obito was training in. We could barely move out that bitch. Then she started shooting bones out of her hands like she's Kimimaro, and I knew from there, the minute that she touched us, it's over. But me and Kakashi didn't even think twice, and we sprung into action hoping to serve as a shield for Naruto and Sasuke. If you ask me now, would I have done it? Hell nah. But at the time, I kinda wanted to feel like a hero. I couldn't become Hokage, so I wanted to at least be the one to help usher in the next Hokage. And boom, it all came down to the wire. 3 seconds left on the shot clock, I ran as fast as I could and it seemed like I wasn't gonna make it. But through love, luck, and a sprinkle of bullshit, I was able to make it in front of Naruto and serve as his shield. Kaguya launched 2 more chicken bones at both me and Kakashi, and from here, our fates were sealed. But at that same moment, I knew what I had to do. At the last second, I used Kamui to protect Kakashi and turned it into a pack and took a blow to his stomach to protect Naruto and gave him my final blessings before eventually turning into ash. And before my soul fully left to go give Rin those long-awaited back shots up in heaven, I made sure to help out my boy Kakashi one last time to grant him the power of Sharingan in the fight against Kaguya. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where my story comes to an end. Thank you for having me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Peace.